Hello, hello, hello. Sorry I'm late. I was just a few minutes late with my clients. Happy New Year. We'll start the 2022 with good health. Hope everybody is doing well. Okay. And we have a lot to say today. Remember to send me messages, who you are, where you're from, any questions on the way while we're doing our lesson today. We're going to be covering today the main matrix and the main panel. So we have quite a lot to say to clear any questions that you may have. So let's start. Let me share my screen. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here is me as a client. I put myself on because I wanted to know what we're reading. Okay, I didn't want to have any client that we didn't know. We have no idea, so we can understand better and I could explain things better. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to start simple and go into the deep information as we go along, so we can cover everything of what we see. Okay, so I'll start with the simple things. Most of you may know already, but you know it's important that we all have a good knowledge of everything, and there's a review. Okay, so as we know here, the index number. Okay, let's start one step back. Okay, this is the matrix. Okay, and what is the matrix? The matrix is 10,000, over 10,000 items that after the testing, our client reacts to. Okay, so it's a reaction. Now, it could be a good reaction, it could be a positive, a negative reaction. It's some kind of reaction, okay? The index number is the number of the matrix line, okay? When we press the index number, we can also have, we could have it by numerical order, if we wish. So right now, there's like 10,893 items in our list. Okay. The next column is the value, and what the value is our reaction number. Okay. So by either clicking either one, we get it in numerical order. Okay. We normally have it by default in numerical order by value, so we can have the highest number in sight of our reactions. So our reactions are also color-coded. Okay, so whatever is, as we know, you all know this, that whatever is over 100, let's say over 100, are more acute items. But we also, with our eductor 1, we've noticed that even the 90s are considered issues. I've noticed a lot of all the numbers over 90 are issues. Okay, and I take into consideration our 90 numbers as well. Now we have color codes. The reds are what is considered, they're considered 3 times over the normal reaction. If normal is a blue color, a red is 3 times over the reaction, so it's the highest acute. Okay, it's what is going on now, and it's things that we really want to take into consideration when we're doing our therapies. Fuchsia or pink. Pink is 2 times over the norm. The yellows are 1 time over the norm, okay? And the blues are in the normal range. But we always have to consider the value of it, okay? Because we see some blues here that are also in the 90s, okay? This may be an indication that it can be chronic, okay? They're issues and they're chronic. Low numbers are also considered chronic issues, probably at a younger age, okay? When we see a client, though, it's good to focus on what they have, the issues now, their SOS. The reds and the high numbers are their SOS issues. Now, before I go into detail of the matrix items, let me go over in general what we see on this panel. Okay, we have the data for the client. Okay, the owner. Under here, we have regulatory dysfunction and explore risk of. These are issues that come up after calibration. Okay, you see them on the VAR hoop. Those are numbers that come with the calibration. So these are indications that we see that we should take into consideration. These items are today's items. They're not yesterday's or in general, they're today's items. So ECG has to do with the heart or emotional issues of heart center. Okay, emotional issue. The heart is the center of emotions. So when you see something like this, definitely you'll have to work around the heart and the emotions. Explore risk of degeneration. Degeneration. You could either see here, explore risk of degeneration, metabolic, oxygenation, or energetic management dysfunction. Okay, so depending on what you see, these are things that you're going to have to focus on within your therapy as well, and address them. Reactivity normal. Here, the reactivity could either be normal, hyperactive, or hypoactive. This means that the reactions during calibration is normal, okay, our reactivity. When normal is, it's good, okay, but when it's hypo-reactive, it means our system is sluggish. Or if it's hyperactive, means something's going on. Hyperactive means it's going too fast. Maybe they're getting sick. Maybe something's going on. So these things can be addressed in the universal therapies, also in the autofocus AFE autofocus emphasis therapies. Okay, so depending what comes up. I'll explain these items later. Okay, here we have our SOC index, percent done. Okay, this shows us a bar of how much in process we're in therapies. Time remaining. Rectification, there's a rectification here, so we always see how we're rectifying during our therapy. And shaping function. Both of these is good to have over 85 when you're doing therapies. Rectification is the rectification on the specific therapy you're doing. Shaping, I think I've gone over it in a previous lesson, but it's the client's reaction to the shaping function, which is the acceptance of love. Within each therapy, there is a sub therapy going on and accepting love of themselves, love from others, love in general. It's very important in life. Okay, so and wellness. So this is also very important, and some lesson will go into it more deeply. Shaping function. Okay, so the matrix. When we're looking at the matrix, well, some people get a headache looking at the matrix. You know, the thing is getting yourself familiar with it. And the more you work with the matrix, and the more you do what I'll be showing you today, the more you'll understand it. It's okay in the beginning not to understand, or what's this and what's that. You know, slowly, you'll start understanding the meaning of everything. But what we really like to see in the matrix and focus on are things that are repetitive. Things that are repetitive are issues. Okay, let's take this as an example. Let's see. On the first line, I see parasites. Okay, circulation, dust. I know I am allergic to dust, so maybe that's something's going on. Some tonsil, pharynx issue, throat issue, immune, mercury toxicity, dust again. That's the second time I see dust. Parasite again. That's the second time I see parasite. So, you know, you want to see repetitions, what's going on. So you understand. Mucus dissolver, so mucus with the throat. Second time, okay, wheat, allergies. Bronchitis, lung. You see, something seems to be coming around me. I'm really taking my vitamins. I'm taking care of myself, but I always feel like something's coming around. Amalgam, mercury again, you see, allergic to shampoos. I am. Hemorrhoids, I don't know. Strep, again, throat. Yes. So already in just a few lines, I see repetitions. Throat comes up, parasite comes up, you know, immune, toxins. Okay. Here and again with the circulation. Second time coming up. So, you know, these are main issues that, you know, when you see a client, you can ask them, okay, I see this, I see parasites. Okay, they may not have symptoms with parasites, but you can ask them with their, how they're doing with, you know, their detoxing and, you know, issues with their, digestive issues and stuff like that, or, you know, allergies, what kind of allergies they're having. My main issue that I really want to focus, and I'll be working around this with you, is my allergy and my skin issues. I seem to be having lately skin issues. Like, you know, now here you see allergies, skin, dust, something's going on. Okay, so let's say I'm working on that on a client and I want to look into it more deeply. Okay. So what I would do, first of all, I would always be here on the main. I'd like to search here, eczema, because that's my issue. And see where it is on the matrix. Okay, you see it's coming in the 90s, eczema. And here, eczema chronic dermatitis, 78. It is. It's not 85 where it should be. It's 78. It is chronic. I have eczema ever since I was really young. And I have it at a good situation, but lately, I don't know, it could be the mask I'm always wearing. I don't know what's going on. And I see something's going on. And I see from the first red lines that a lot of allergies are going on. So that's our first indication. Let's see. So what I do is I take eczema and I put it on the yellow hold tray. And I press return to main. Okay. What we want to do here is this. We want additional information on the eczema. So what I would do is I would press the individual reaction. The individual reaction gives us a testing for that specific item. The difference between the testing that we've already done is we have done testing on all 10,000 items, whereas with the individual reaction, we do a test on that individual item, on the individual reaction of that specific item. Let's see what it gives us. Always return to main before you press individual reaction. Individual reaction. Let me press it. When you start your therapy this way, the eductor has its artificial intelligence. So you kind of guide it and make it focus around this area, and you do a much deeper therapy. Okay, so what does this yellow panel give us? It gives us a lot of numbers, and it may be a little difficult in the beginning, but the more and more you do it on different items, you'll get the hang of it, okay? So it gives us total reaction, allergy reaction, difference, and resonance on this first line. It gave us a total reaction of 50%, allergic reaction of 17%, and the difference is just the difference between these two, 50 and 17 to, that's the difference. And the resonance is 44. Now, you see, on one hand, this can be kind of confusing. Why am I not resonating with eczema, even though I've had eczema my whole life, practically, and it's my issue now. I have a little kind of dermatitis. Maybe it's because it's not my biggest issue, okay? But for me, it is, because I don't like to have it, especially on my face. I see the allergic reaction at 17%. Allergic reaction could mean the actual allergy as it was in the beginning, how we saw dust, okay, we saw different shampoo, we saw wheat allergy. So there could be an allergic reaction there. It's only 17%. The higher the allergic reaction, the more you have to focus on going into the Allersode program and from the meridians, all that area of desensitizing, because it reduces inflammation and it reduces the stress. The allergic reaction can also mean stress reaction, not only allergy as allergy per se, but also due to stress. So these numbers are not that high. This gives me the indication that, it's not my main issue. But I also see, in combination with that the rectification was only 53%, meaning that I need therapy. There is an issue here. Okay, there is an issue. Let's go further down here. Must prescribe an item for long-term therapy. Okay, so there is an issue, and there's toxic system of patient, a slow reaction, a slow reactivity. We have to do an allergic zap. It gives us this yellow individual reaction gives us what we need to do. Okay, prescribe an item, deal with mental factors or imponderables, link enzymatic pathway, gelsenium as a homeopathic, and anxiety. Sometimes we feel, I don't feel like I have anxiety, but, so unconsciously, subconsciously, something should be there for me to have this issue. Okay, so we'll be zapping from here. We could zap it for 3 minutes. We can zap it for 30 seconds. Okay, for now, I'll zap it for 30 seconds so I can get a good rectification of 53. I'll do one more individual reaction so we can, get the hang of it and practice of how we read this. So we took the rectification to 65%. Let's do it again. We want the rectification to be over 85. Definitely. So this is giving me an indication that I do have the issue, even though my reaction was low and resonance was low. But here, it did say, here, let me show you. that I had a slow reactivity. Okay, maybe that's why these reactions were low. Okay, during the testing of the eczema, I had a slow reactivity. Okay, now we went to 80. We'll do it one little more zap to get it to at least 85. Okay, so it's always a good idea to jot down what it says here so that you know what else you have to work during your therapy. Enzymatic pathway definitely will go into the enzymes. Mental factors, we have to work with NLP, brain superlearning, imponderables, issues with emotions, and definitely allergic zap. So we took it up to 95. That is good. Now, it says anxiety as well as an emotion. I'll show you what else we're going to do. So we close this, and it tells us here that after the individual reaction, it tells us to go to number 7742, item 7742, index number. So go to index, we'll press that. And what is that? Mycotoxins, biological warfare, biowar. So when it gives us a number there, go to, respect it, and go to it. For some reason, that may be your main issue. Okay, remember for my eczema, that may be an issue. Could be from, everything, vaccines and stuff. I don't know what's going on. So I can do a treat on that. Now, I have several choices on how I can do the treat. Now I did a few seconds zap. It's a few seconds only, like a 7-second zap. But this treat can become, if you go to auto zap here, it can become 3 minutes. Look, 3 minutes. Or I could go to autofocus here, zap 9 minutes, and I can do it a 9-minute zap. Or I can go to autofocus zap custom time, and a bar comes up, and I can do as many minutes as I want. Okay, I can do it 1 minute or whatever. Okay, so when you have your cursor here and you pick what kind of zap you want, 1 minute, a few seconds, custom made, 3 minutes, 9 minutes, whatever, you do a zap. Now, if I was actually doing a therapy and not a lesson with you, I would do a 9-minute zap because that's my issue. Okay, I would do it. Okay, now, so far so good. Let's take the other information that we got. The eczema was associated with also anxiety. So let's find anxiety on the main matrix. Let's search for anxiety. See what we're going to do. Anxiety. Search. Anxiety gene. I want anxiety as anxiety. Just anxiety. So what we can do is usually anxiety has with a line here. Yeah, there it is. Anxiety. So what I would do, I would put it on the pink tray and go back to main. Okay. So what I would do with these two yellow and pink trays, I'm going to get more information. First of all, additional information that I could get on the eczema, let's say, and using the main matrix, I can test the item, and hold ray above, meaning the yellow, against the main matrix, and see what items are either causing my eczema or may cure my eczema according to the main matrix. Let's see what comes up. If you go down further, 4 yellow lines come up. So We see there's an issue with the intestine, so I really have to fix my bowel flora. That's coming up. So if I double click, it does a quick second zap, few second zap. And if you'll see also, by doing the quick second zap, it's 45%. It's okay. Let me show you my show info report. And by doing that quick zap, you'll see on the bottom, here it is. Okay, it's loaded on the report by doing that quick zap. Or if I just press it once, it goes to the your blue info box directly without doing a few second zap. But since it's only a few seconds, I prefer to do that zap. It gives us that that trickle tingle. It helps. Even that little zap is a good therapy, okay? Because either way, you're loading it on the info box. It'll be carried out throughout your whole therapy, and you're going to do so many things either way. So a little trickle therapy will be good, and it's giving the artificial intelligence information on where it should be working. Remedy for tonsils, once, or you can do it a double click, and it does the few second zap. So I see that with the eczema, my immune system, the tonsils, maybe because you saw in the beginning, something's going around with me. My immune system's low. So obviously all my other tendencies are coming up, and it is affecting my eczema. Homeopathic toothpaste. Maybe I should be using some homeopathic toothpaste for my gums and gingivitis. Some kind of connection there. Okay, I respect it, whatever it says. I'll do a quick zap. And the fourth item is female balance. A mixture for female balance hormones, endocrine, so also a hormonal issue. Okay, definitely, because obviously anxiety does affect hormones, so there's something going on there too. Okay, so by doing a test the item against the main matrix gives you a general idea, but we can also get more information on more specific items. Let's say, which Bach flower would be a good remedy for me for my eczema? So I would put the sub-filter on Bach flower. I get all the Bach flowers on the main matrix, and I do a test item in a whole tray above. So I'm testing the eczema against the Bach flower, and it'll give me exactly which Bach flower would be a good cocktail for me as a therapy. Okay. On this note, you can either tell them I can go by and make a cocktail of these 4 Bach flowers, or I can do a quick zap and load them on the info box. Where's my info box? It keeps going away. Show info report. Okay. Even if it's closed, just know that it does load it. I just want you to see that it's loading. That's why. So I would double click, and it would do that quick zap. Wild rose Bach flower for helps to find a higher purpose alignment. So this also takes away anxiety. Holy Bach flower, holly Bach flower. It's for, some will help with compassion, love, and inner harmony. Okay, impatience Bach flower for mental tension, irritability. Yeah, I've been kind of off these days. That's why. It's true. I hate to say it, but maybe it's because my immune system's a little low. Okay, and olive Bach flower, complete exhaustion, stress, chronic fatigue. Okay, so all this will help. So you see how we're building our therapy through the matrix? You could spend an entire session just on the matrix, fully. It all depends on how quick you want to be and to go on or just stay here. These are perfectly fine therapies. You can do it on any kind of, bacteria, chromosomes. You can start. I can see, for instance, which chromosomes are being affected with the eczema, or I find more information on my DNA around the eczema. Emotions. Let's see, emotions. What emotions are coming up? Apart from the main matrix, I mean, you test this item against emotions and it gives us, additional information. I also like Narayani. Narayani is one of my favorites. Living Grail, they're Living 13, Liquid Lights. Those are beautiful remedies. Narayani, though, they're really good. I like them too. Test item and whole tray above. Let's see what comes up. So I'm making a cocktail in my info box here. Let's get my info box, show info box, and see what Narayani items came up. Okay, now, even though I'm a female, for some reason the prostate mixture came up. Could be, this may be for my, husband or whatever. Obviously, it's not for my eczema. But it doesn't hurt because it came up to add it in the info box. It's okay. Female balance, though. That came up, I think, previously. So let's put it up. Epilepsy. Maybe that has to do with, it has to do with the brain, the exhaustion, the brain fatigue, intestinal parasites. Interesting. Remember the parasites that were coming in the beginning. We always have to remember everything that we do. We're not just pressing buttons. We see, we have to remember, we have to make our notes, what we see, and whatever is repetitive, we see, okay, there's an issue, whatever is repetitive. Okay, sinus balance again, so there's the cold coming up again, okay? Okay, so this is interesting. So I've got my information around the eczema. Now, I could do the exact same what I did for anxiety. Here's test item in whole tray above. That's for the pink item, right? Or I could do a test for both trays. Here, we have another button here, both trays. I can test eczema with my anxiety against the main matrix and see what comes up. Let's see what comes up. See what repetitive issues will come up. My immune, my hormones so far, parasites were coming up. So it's giving me a good indication. I think I have to take more C, or maybe I have to rest. Again, general organs, something's going on there. Okay, inflammation, definitely, because this is inflammation. Arterial disorders, hereditary. Okay, so this has to do with the circulation issue. Circulation obviously has to do with inflammation again. It has to do with the parasites. Something's going on there. So let me put them on my info box again. Okay, so we got our information. What's going on? The eczema and the anxiety is affected by these items. Okay, I'm just loading them on for our purposes, but normally I would zap them, okay, with a second zap to load them. Okay, so, you get the gist out of this. We get information. The more the information, the better, and it's always good to load Bach flowers, and Narayani, what I said, a combination, doctor, we can do that too, both items. What recommendation the eductor gives us as therapy for these items, eczema and anxiety. It's good to load them on the blue info box so we can work as a therapeutically. So miasms, again, DNA, we saw it again before, the hereditary. Okay, combo for mucus. Okay, so there's the immune system. Rebuilding detox. Okay, you see, oh, I accidentally did it twice. You see there, the detox, again, it's for the heavy metals that we saw in the main matrix in the beginning. And again, here, chemical element. So apparently there's a biowar going on with me, and that's why I have eczema, I have a low immune system, and anxiety. Okay. So what we do with everything that we've loaded, what we do after we have loaded them, we press load report items. Okay, and here it says report item loaded. As soon as report item is loaded, you notice that the individual reaction button has changed to test report. Meaning what? You can do a further test on all those items that we've put in the info box for only those items. Okay, I usually don't do that, but you can even do that further step of testing those reports and getting more items under here and more information so you can understand what's going on. As soon as the report items are loaded, you can do here your custom zap, 1 minute, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 9 minutes, whatever, or I can unzap as well. If I unzap, it goes back to treat a few seconds. So when your report items are loaded, okay, and you treat, the items in the info box are being treated. Isn't this a great way of working? I'm serious. I mean, you can do all sorts of cocktails here, all sorts. And you can do it 9 minutes. You can do it over and over again until you get your rectification of over 85. Right now, with that quick zap, I got a rectification of 52. Okay, but I would like to get a good rectification of 85. So, you know, items that you know that the eductor doesn't have a specific program, or you want to make a individualized program for your client, this is the best way. That's why I'm saying, I mean, you can stay here for your entire session and do different things like this. Okay, you can empty your info box by going to empty, here reporting, empty info report to start new. Are you sure? Yes. And you start new. So you can do something else. Let's do another individual reaction. So I show you one more because, you know, by mastering the individual panel, the individual testing reaction panel, you need to do it over and over again because it depends on what, you know, you're working on. So let's go to the main. Remember in the main, what else did I have? My immune system. Let's start over here, unload items. Okay, we can delete this item here. Okay, and let's search for not search. We'll load this item here, the tonsil, my tonsils, because I do every so often I feel like my throat is hurting, and personally, you know I don't have COVID, but out of curiosity, let's see if I have COVID. Okay, we can search here, COVID, and it's at 96. Okay. I did say in the beginning that even the 90s are a consideration. Now, because it's not red and it's not a high number, I don't think I have COVID. But just because it is not blue and it's not 85 Maybe I'll take some extra vitamins tonight, just in case. Okay, so let's clear my search, go back to main, and let's take a look at my tonsils and what's going on there. Okay, so we'll do an individual reaction and see what comes up. Just do one more so we can, have a better understanding. Of course, the more you do it, the more you'll understand. But any questions that you have, feel free to contact me. I'll be happy to mentor you or answer any questions if they're quick. No problem. Feel free, really. Either here on the chat that we have or in Messenger. I'll be happy to respond to any questions. Again, here seems my reactions are kind of low today. So my reaction here to the tonsil pharyngeal item was 57, allergic reaction 19, the difference is 38. So there is sort of an allergic reaction. The reaction isn't that high. I have also, again, a low resonance and a low coherence. And my rectification was at 101. So it doesn't seem like it's such a big issue. It's not, because it's really not a big issue. I kind of feel it, but it's not a really big issue. And it's showing me this. Remember, in my eczema, it was an issue because the rectification was also low. Even though these numbers were low, my rectification was also low. So, you have to play with all these numbers and understand them. What does it say here? Toxic system. Again, toxicity. That's the reason why I have this as a toxic. I believe also, by wearing our masks all day is creating another toxic issue here. Allergic reaction. So it appears that I have an allergic reaction, and that's why I have my issue with my throat. What's coming up again? Bowel flora, fungus, and psychic pain. Okay. And bowel flora. Again, repetition. We keep seeing this. Okay. So here I would not do a zap since my rectification was already at 101. Okay. Where does it go here? It tells me to go to index number 6603. Let's go there. And it says here it's a guna remedy for my endocrine hormonal. It's a hormonal remedy, so it's a good idea to do it. I'll do a quick little zap there. A few seconds zap. Okay, and we saw that in the rectification here. With that zap, I went 71%. Okay, I won't go further, but maybe if you had a client here that had an issue, I would go more. Okay, since I didn't really have a big issue with the individual reaction, I won't go in testing the items further. Let's test another item. Let's see about most dangerous strep, maybe the strep issue. Let's see that. What's going on here? Do an individual reaction. So I wouldn't go and test items and start sub-filtering for all those yellow little items on something individual reaction that's not really an issue. You would want to go further and create your cocktail for your blue panel if the individual reaction is an issue. Okay, so we're just making sure about the strep. Okay, again, I see that the rectification is good and my reaction again and resonance is low. It's not that high. I see a higher number with my allergic reaction. So again, allergy is coming up. And again, with a strep, it shows me I should treat the bowel flora. So I don't need to go further with this. No need to go further. Okay. but it's telling us to go to the matrix number 594. Go to index. Let's see what it gives us. Cervical nosode and sarcode of all tissues and disease of the neck and cervical. Well, you know, cervical vertebrae has to do with the stress. And obviously, the strep does affect the nervous system. It could, these bacterias, you never know where they can hit. Okay, so maybe it is affecting my cervical node. So I know, why not? It would be a good idea to do a treat on this item. Okay. Now, I think you got the gist of the individual reaction and testing against the subfilters and the main matrix. Okay. I showed you how to do both items. I've showed you how to search items. Situation hold. Situation hold is a subspace program designed. You can even put a situation hold before testing. You can put it before testing, after calibration, or at any point, and it helps the therapy extra focus on certain areas. For instance, you can put here on the situation hold, clear, conscious, and unconscious resistance to change, for instance. Okay, or you can put an affirmation here, or you can put something even about the planet, you know, of clear COVID worldwide. You can put anything here. I'll leave it here at clear, conscious, and unconscious. Conscious resistance to change. You know, clearing that and starting off with that and having that subspace throughout the whole therapy really helps open the client and any resistance, because no matter, even if they say they don't have consciously, you know, there's always some kind of unconscious resistance to change. So that will help them be more open to the therapy. So what you do to activate this, you double click on it, okay, and it gives you, it says here, situation alive till cleared, okay, and it gives you an affirmation, hope for the world of medicine, okay, and mineral oligotherapy. It tells us that your client, that's me, in our case, needs more minerals, okay, to help them with their therapy. So this will be running in the background. Plus, it also gives you that added information. Okay, let me make sure I have covered. So, you know, a lot of times people ask us, what are nosodes? What are isodes? What are the main matrix items? What do they mean? Okay. Let me give you an explanation of some. Allosodes are homeopathic remedies of samples of possible allergens of foods, pollens, and other particles. Sarcodes are healthy tissue. They're homeopathic remedies from samples of healthy tissues. It's the parts of the body, the sarcodes. Imponderables. Those refer to electromagnetic energies, geopathic stress, radiation, ELF frequencies, and also emotions. They're anything energy in motion, okay, the imponderables. Nosodes. Nosodes are homeopathic remedies for pathogenic items. And isodes are remedies of man-made chemicals. So basically, our matrix, they're made up of these type of items. Okay, so remember that, we're peeling the onion when we're doing a session on a client. So we always want to focus on the main items, on the acute items, on whatever their main issue is, if they're hurting, if they're in pain. I've had clients, for instance, let's say, a client is a young person that, they don't talk, or maybe they're a little bit of autistic, they don't communicate, or maybe they're babies and that they're hurting. Okay, so pain. How do you know where they're hurting? You can find out. Okay, let me show you by using the main matrix. Let's search for pain. And see where pain comes up. I want an item with only pain in it. Because for me, for instance, I don't have specific pain threshold. There it is. Okay, so we want to see pain, and we want to see where the child is hurting. So, the mother says, where's my child hurting? I don't know where it's hurting, and I don't know how to make it better. How can I make it better? What we could do is put pain threshold here, and we can either do a first testing against the main matrix and see what comes up, or we can also go to SAR codes here, filter SAR codes, okay, and test pain against the SAR codes, and it'll give us which SAR code is hurting. There's so many ways in working with the matrix, and it's just a matter of, working it over and over again so and understand it better. So look, this is really interesting. I told you I wasn't hurting, but I do. I hurt on my bone, on my foot. Every time I stand up, my feet hurt underneath. And there it is. It's amazing. I forgot because I only remember it when I stand up for a few minutes. That's interesting. Okay. So, we can get so much information from the matrix by working at it. Okay. There are more items that we can work, but I'd like to save it for another time because it'll take a while to understand that too. And I think I've given you already a lot of information. Let me make sure that I covered everything, because it can get confusing, but the more you're familiar with it, the more you'll get to know everything. Yeah, I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. So let me go back to our chat room and see if we have any questions. Yeah. Here we are. Hello, I've gotten so many messages. Thank you, thank you. Ivana, Fanborn, Alvin, Emilia, Cecilia. Hello, hello. Lotte, Carmen. Thank you. Joanna, Jess, Sarah, Bodhi, Peter, Beatrice, Maisie. Thank you, thank you. So I don't see any questions. I guess I've answered all your questions, but I'm free to answer any questions you have. please send me a message. I'd be happy to help anybody who contacts me. Okay, and we look forward. In 2 weeks, we have our next Friday focus again, and I'll be so happy to see you, all of you. Love you all. Kisses to everybody. Have a very good year, 2022. Okay, and we'll all stick together and be healthy. Bye. Bye. Thank you so much. Bye.